discuss that with Fabien Kuya, who is our reporter at the courts. Today we heard in the news that, the pathologist has released initial reports on the remains of Shalom Musu in that court case. And so we are told that, PowerPoint presentation at Criminal Court A, there were some revelations. And so when Fabien's here, we will talk more about that. I think the
Very interesting.
public needs to know about it. I know when we started the show was the same time they went to jail. We have always been updating the public. This is a big revelation in that case. I think Fabien will tell us more about that when she comes up here. After that or before that, I think we can talk more about politics. I heard today what is also trending is that about a group of female candidates who contested the October 10 elections in different categories have endorsed the re-election bid of His Excellency the President of the Republic of Liberia, and I think it's something for us to talk about.
Worth talking about.
Yeah, so maybe we can. They're under the banner Female Candidates Network endorse, the Coalition for Democratic Change, standard bearer.
We also had the ALP yesterday. So
though we want to start from today. Then we can go
because
that's what I think because we're talking
we can talk about some of the some of the current events, and then we can extend to the wider issues.
Yeah, because I think the ALP issue is a very big issue.
But I think that the gender card is extremely important. We haven't really talked about that sufficiently. The endorsement of the women candidates today, the female legislative candidates, and I understand that they were candidates that either won or lost. So it consists of a whole host of different people. For instance, at the legislature, for instance, I think at the House of Representatives, we might not have more than 6 or 7 women lawmakers as we speak. And at the senatorial level, I can't think of any other person besides Youngly.
I think we got three.
Newly added.
We have Senator Youngly Kanga, we have Boto Kane from Bapolu County, and then we just have one that been added from Grand Kipma. That's Vapala. So that's 3, but still it is proportionately. Comparatively, it's not as huge.
It's not.
It is very small, and that is why I think we need to talk about the post-war Liberia. Ever since the end of the Civil War, Liberia has always been represented at the highest level by some semblance of a woman representative. We had the first female president when we ended the Civil War in 2003 and elected President Sirleaf in 2005. She was followed by President George Weah. He had his second in command as a vice president. Currently on the ticket, there's only one candidate, one ticket that has a woman on it, and that ticket is the ticket of President George Weah. So it is unsurprising that today we saw a group of women candidates at the legislature endorsing His Excellency the President. But we're also beginning to hear that at different levels, at the community level, Islamic women are endorsing the President, political party women on a different wings, different ages are also endorsing the President, because they all are sort of concerned, firstly, about the historic and general marginalization or semblance of marginalization of women in our society. Women don't seem to have, or historically have not reached to the level. Who's that? Sorry. Okay, go ahead. It was just sometimes in the 50s that women got the suffrage, the right to vote. So even the right to vote was given to them about half a century ago. And then for them to be, represented at the highest level, Liberia was a trailblazer in that direction. It happened in 2005. We are managing to keep that, and we understand that other political parties and other countries around Africa are beginning to hear us for that. Because we are continuing the culture. He, in fact, following his election, promised that even at the legislative level, they are going to take measures, and his political party has taken those measures to ensure that there's a greater degree of women participation, at the legislative level. If you notice, even, some of the candidates that were presented. So, the endorsement of these women today, it is quite significant, and I think that's one of the subject matter we should focus on for our conversation today. I don't think that has been mentioned quite a lot, but I think it's extremely important.
Yes. Yeah, you very right, Brakai. The issue of women participation in politics is becoming a dispensational success. Like you rightly said, if you look back at the Totman's administration, I think it was in 1950 when President William V. S. Totman, advocated for the passage of the right for women to vote in our elections, and it has broadened to some extent from a political spectrum perspective women's participation. But in this dispensation, there's a huge outpour of women participating in our political activities, stemming from head of offices, in the cabinet, and their participation cannot be underrated. So having these women coming all out today to endorse the president's re-election is a big one. Not many persons. You see, our society is such that decades back, people felt that women was just limited to the kitchen, housewives. Today, it is more of a different ballgame. Madam Solif came and set the pace running. In fact, we have Angie Brooks-Rano, we have Mary Brunel. These were tough and powerful women in our society. They played a major role in our various politics and international politics. So the people you saw today coming out, these women that endorsed the president, they're basically saying to other women in our society that this is the time that we must recognize that we are equitably included in all political and governmental decision making. So as such, let us be the ones now to lead the trailblazer. Unlike the Unity Party. The Unity Party is, for me, in terms of this participation, very much disingenuous, and they are also disunited, because I've never heard a time when the SB of the Unity Party actually really promoted the essence of women at this level. 2017, when President Williams was elected, 2018, he made it his responsibility to have really full participation in national decision making. Despite across the cabinets, the appointments he made, even at many levels. Let's look at the Supreme Court. See today, at the Supreme Court, similarly, even the first female judge that came from Nimba, the Mandingo sister. So he's included a lot of our young sisters. Look at the Deputy Chief of Staff, Geraldine. What's her last name? Geraldine George. So these women have been playing a significant role in our body politics, unlike in decades past when people thought that women were just basically for the house.
Less important.
And to see a president prioritizing women at this level. So imagine they have come out. Those who contested, who didn't win, and those who won have said, you know what? We believe that this ticket, the re-election of this president, is significantly important for us because our roles and responsibilities are recognized. There was, if you recall, recently, I think some months ago, in the House, there were several bills that were forwarded for the president's office, and one of those was for at least 30 or 35%. If I'm wrong, women participation. 30%, right? And the president did approve that. So it tells us.
Firstly, we should talk about the fact that the president, following his election in 2017, he attended a program at the Anthony Totman Stadium where I think he was embraced by a number of women, and then he promised to ensure that we'll have greater women participation.
Correct.
Both, not just at the fact that we're already achieving at the presidential level and the vice presidential level, he was going to ensure that it happens at the legislative level.
Yep.
And he prevailed on the gender minister who's been coordinating along with the vice president and all of that. And they prefer a set of legislations, a lot of things were discussed, but one of them, amongst them, was the fact that he wanted 30% women participation, and it was erroneously said. But I think the head of the Female Lawyers Association, that the president vetoed that aspect, which was quite untrue.
Yep.
The president didn't veto that. As a matter of fact, it was one of the things that he signed. It was quite unfortunate that some of the political parties didn't adhere to that regulation. But we should state that women are integral part of of society.
Of course.
If you check the last census that was taken, we are almost proportionate. Almost 1-1. So about it was 49, 51% or 50-50%. So at every level, they should be represented. Whether it is at the community level, at the educational, or maybe at the very base of the family level. Yes. So for any political party that assumes to be, espousing the views and aspirations of Liberia, not to have them at the highest level, is unfortunate. Is an exclusion. So, but we tell our supporters on a regular basis that if they go to the polls and they want to vote, they look for the ticket that has the woman on it. There's only one ticket that has a woman on it. And for most of you women out there, thinking about the ticket to vote for, look for the ticket that has a woman on it. There's only one ticket with a woman on it. The other ticket doesn't have a woman. They've excluded women. So one ticket there has a woman on it. She's going to be wearing blue.
And vote for that ticket. I like the emphasis on the excluded. So we have Fabian already here. I think if we're still going into the composition.
So I just wanted to strike a point.
That,
what the president did and has been doing, and and as a result, he is the feminist in chief that we all know is, healing results. Because these women have said that one of the reasons why they are supporting His Excellency and is because he has a female, on his ticket. So because we see ourselves in Vice President Joel Howard Taylor, we are going to support His Excellency. People play with these things and they think women, participation is not that important at that level.
Exactly.
Because we were hearing that, the Unity Party will have a female candidate and be bumped. You see, they have a male, vice presidential candidate. And some candidates in the elections really played that down. But President Weah kept his focus and he kept his vice president, and that is, healing result now for him. So you don't overlook women participation because women now, people used to say that women don't rally, around other women, but that has changed significantly, especially during these elections. Women go. The thing about it, I don't know where that revolution has come from, but it has turned in our country. Women support women.
And the thing about it is
ourselves in one another. Before, the men used to divide us and say that, that woman did, she that. Now we don't see it that way anymore. If a female is into something, other women want to support because it's all about us women. When one woman wins, all of us win, which is a very good thing.
I think that philosophy came from, like Daniel said, women were normally kept in the back. So when women are together and they put up their strength and each woman supports one to achieve, be it from a political standpoint or whatever standpoint, they see themselves in one another. When a woman sees a woman aspiring for a particular position, the next woman in the village sees that woman as she sees herself. So it is just that way. That philosophy is gradually taking over.
Revolution now. So
it's gradually taking over our politics,
which is a good thing.
Yes.
But Fabian has to go, so she's already here with us. Fabian is our.
Fabian enjoying the conversation.
I thought Fabian got maybe something to say, but let's go ahead.
Fabian, you have something to say concerning
No.
She's a woman. She's a woman. Join the politics.
Can you speak to the mic, please? So
I'm
Fabian
a woman, so I support that, obviously.
Okay.
Okay, so Fabian, you are, our reporter at the courts. Today, we know that this news came from the court that they chief pathologist for Liberia, has come up with this initial report on the Shalomusu case. And this report is saying something that is very, 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 very important. We believe that the public should know about it, and want to ask you a few questions concerning that. But tell us a little bit about what the pathologist said today.
Well, today, the pathologist was in court along with two others who went to testify on behalf of the state in the ongoing murder trial. And during his testimony before the court and the jury, he had his PowerPoint presentation concerning the autopsy report on the late Shalomusu. And so the defendants were placed in the dock where they usually sit, but because of the presentation, and so they asked them out of the dock to sit in the position that they will watch what is being presented in court. Okay. And so the four sat opposite the screen. And so he started with his usual PowerPoint presentation. There were images shown that they saw and did not react. But a particular image that appeared, because for every image that comes on the screen, he has to explain to the jury, and the court. And so there was this image bearing the late Shalomusu in a position on her left side. You could see that from the image, her face was like kind of peeled from this side and downwards. And he indicated that it must have been some toxin that was spilled on the late Shalomusu. And so when they saw that part, the four defendants burst in tears in open court, and they wailed for some time. And so the entire court was disturbed. In fact, there were other people coming from other courts coming in at Criminal Court A to actually see what was happening. And so he told the court that when they visited the crime scene, along with prosecution and defense, there were blood stains that he showed from the deceased room all the way to the room of Councillor Glorious Musu-Scott and onwards to her bathroom, where bloodstain was there. For the matter of fact, I was part of the team that visited the crime scene last month, and I saw exactly what he had on the screen. And so from his standpoint as chief pathologist performing the autopsy, he explained that actually there was blood stain coming from the room of the deceased coming onwards to Glorious Scott's room. And there are both rooms opposite each other with a bathroom between, where they saw a gray bra tomb in the middle. And then when he showed that part of the body, you could see that he said she was stabbed almost 9 times.
Wow.
And so from the right side of the position of the body, the pathologist said she was in that defensive position, trying to stop whoever the assailant was in the position, stopping her. But then he said when he went to look at the body after the incident occurred that night, they first took her to a clinic in Virginia, and then later on they took her at Redemption, where she died before arrival. That was his statement. And so the nurses on duty that night did not notice anything, because they expected to see some maybe torn blouse or something, but they didn't see any. And so she looks clean that night. But then when they took off the blouse, according to the pathologist, which of course was on the screen, and there where they saw the wounds. And another thing he displayed in court was that they had to take part of the liver, her heart, and her kidney. That was also displayed, and her stool and her feces, to see as to whether she has some drug content or maybe poison within. And he said that was conducted and none was found in the body. But equally so, he said from the crime scene they visited, actually they didn't see any intruder entering that house.
The pathologist said that?
The pathologist said that.
In court, right?
Yeah, in
But
court.
that they didn't see an intruder.
Yeah,
From what they see, they see.
I believe here from the crime scene that it was an intruder that entered the house. So I'm quoting directly
What
from the
does
pathologist.
what does that mean for this case?
Well, Titi, the case is ongoing. As I said, remember, government are still producing the witnesses. We haven't touched the side of the defense team to produce theirs, but government have begun producing the witnesses in court, testifying to.
Where was the defendant? Were the defendants in court?
Yeah, they were.
I said they were in
They
court.
were way before the
Yeah.
presentation.
What would you say their reaction?
Well, when they saw the body on the screen of the late Shalomusu, they burst in tears.
They themselves.
They
Why do you
cried
think they were
bitterly. Probably maybe because they saw the body. Well, I can't speak their mind. I don't know.
Including the former Chief Justice himself?
Yeah, They
Before
tried
then.
Italy in court today, and so the case is still ongoing.
One question I want to ask you: you said you visited the home with the pathologist.
Yes,
Did
no,
you-
not with the pathologist, with both prosecution and defense.
Did you see
When
the blood
defense,
stain?
yeah, when defense requested for that and the court granted that, I saw it, the blood stains on the floor because she has a very large compound. Her living room and dining room is very large, and there are 4 rooms downstairs that we saw, and there's a single door having access to the 4 rooms. So when you open that door, on the left there's a passage, and right on the left you find Gloria's card room on the left with a bathroom. And then when you come out of her room, just within the hallway, there's another room with bathroom. And when you look ahead of you, there are 2 rooms with a bathroom in between. And so having access to the 4 bedrooms in the house is just one way. And so we visited. We even saw her bathroom window that she alleged that she took the keys through. A single bar was down from the bathroom window, and from the back of the house, another bar was down. And so we visited the scene. I formed part of the team that visited the crime scene along with prosecution, defense, and officers that took us there.
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
this is a juror case, right?
Yeah, a jury trial.
Okay.
And so they're going to determine the facts.
Explain what a jury trial is again.
Well, when the person is being accused in court, you have the right to either a jury trial and a bench trial. A bench trial is where you have the judge serving as a jury and the judge. But then a jury trial consisting of 12 to 15 persons to listen and decide the case.
Okay.
And so they are the ones listening, and we have the facts in the case. Even though the judge is in court for every time the case is called, but it's the right of the defendants, as I said earlier, to either ask for a jury trial or a bench trial.
So they asked for a jury trial.
Yeah, they asked for a jury trial, and so they are going through it with the jurors.
There are reports that, and I want you to tell us how true this is, that one of those who are imprisoned with one of the family members, imprisoned with the former Chief Justice, is fighting everybody in the court, in the jail. Have you heard something like that?
Well, it's not about a fight. I remember it was sometime earlier this month. They had a case from our defense team. That report, we're still awaiting that report from the prison superintendent and the assistant minister for Bureau of Corrections at the Ministry of Justice. It was alleged from the defense team that the old lady there in the case, what was her name, Rebecca, who was allegedly attacked in her cell. And so
She was attacked.
Yeah, she was attacked in her cell, and so that was argued before the court with both prosecution and defense. That is why we are still waiting for the report. Because the judge said he wants to know as to whether prior to the attack, whether there was some altercation or some misunderstanding, or whether there is a CCTV to actually know what's happening. And so it was based on that. He ordered the clerk to summon the prison superintendent and the assistant minister for Bureau of Corrections and Rehabilitation to go and have a report to find out exactly what happened. And so we are waiting for that report as to
Is
whether
she alone in a cell? Sorry, how do you know how they
I've visited the Monrovia Central Prison several times, especially almost the entire prison. And so in the female cells, they have like 4 bunk beds in each cell.
4 persons.
4 bunk beds in each cell. So they are in the cell there. And so what I got was that the 4 of them are not placed in the same cell. That's what I got my information.
Yeah,
they are being separated from each other because of security.
But they're in prison also other people.
Yes, they are there, yes, in prison with other people and the Monrovia Central Prison. So we are waiting and see what's going to happen next tomorrow in the case and onwards.
Okay.
So we're following that case.
Thank you, Fabian.
That's a good update.
Yeah, Fabian Kuya is our reporter at the Temple of Justice, and we will always bring you updates on this case as it unfolds. But be it as it may, when the cases are in court, we don't discuss.
We don't talk about it.
Here, we don't talk about it.
It's not in our purview to have any discussion surrounding that.
Okay, so since we've already started discussing it now.
No, I mean, she was reporting about it. We don't have to discuss it.
So we can just go back. So she just provided what it
just
is.
update.
So let's go back.
But we're not going into the.
There's nothing in that meat for us to chew on.
Okay.
You know, cooking, we ain't condemn.
I know. I just wanted to say that, that's the pathologist, report that is saying that there was no intruder, there was no intruder, and she was stabbed multiple times. It's just
So it seems like a murder.
it's just a sad it's just a sad story. That's all I can say. Since
Oh,
we
so
can
rest in
discuss it,
peace.
it's just a sad story. But let's go back to politics. During the course of last weekend, we know that we saw right after Nick announced that campaign was declared open for the second round, we saw that the Coalition for Democratic Change started getting some endorsements. The first one was the senator-elect from Grand Bassa County, Bezanga Milton Finlay. The next day, we heard that Edith Gongo from Nimba County, the woman who came second every time to Prince Johnson, senator, and even came very close. It was just few votes between she and Jeremiah Cohn when they went to the elections, and she even felt cheated.
Went to court.
Yeah, and that case went to court. Also pledged her support to President Weah, which we saw as a very big endorsement because she comes from Nimba County, that is vote rich also. And following that, the next day we heard that Henry Costa met with His Excellency, and then he said that ALP, the All Liberian Party, would have spoken on Sunday yesterday. But between there, we also heard about some other endorsements from our Islamic brothers and sisters that we talked about on, was it Thursday or Friday? But I know that Saturday also, there was another big endorsement in the Gardnersville area that Minister Fofana attended, because I saw a post from you on Facebook. And so we can talk about, yours, the one you attended, because Juras Sana,
You mentioned the one he attended.
yeah, he talked about the one he attended. And you guys were attending another one that same day, and the following day you attended another endorsement. These, I'm not sure we talked about the Saturdays, then we can move to Sunday and today.
Okay.
Yeah. But I just want to firstly state that President George Weah has been getting a lot of different endorsements. This is testament to the fact that he presents, the candidate with the characteristics, only candidate with the characteristics of reconciling this country, and that's why you see a lot of people gravitating towards him.
Good.
On day one, as soon as the elections were officially announced by the National Elections Commission, we saw Bezanga Finlay, who is one of the major political stakeholders of Grand Bassa County. Not just Grand Bassa County, I would like to call it the Bassa Land.
Yeah.
And the Bassa Land consists of the Bassa Belt.
Exactly.
The Bassa Belt is a huge swathe of different population. We were talking about Grand Bassa County. We were talking about Riverside. We were talking about Magibi. We were talking about parts of Montserrado County.
Even parts of Lima.
So the Bassa people are spread across. Grand Bassa may be the point of convergence, but his endorsement is huge. He was elected by more than 50% of the population, but this man has said, at the end of the day, there's only one candidate that he thinks, firstly, can continue to level the development that he himself envisaged for the Bassa people. He talked about, extending electricity, for instance, to Grand Bassa County, because it's evident the only person that has been extending electricity ever since he became president and other infrastructure projects is President Weah. President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and Joseph Boakai kept talking about be light to the small letter, be light to the small letter. We never saw the 12 years spent on Sirleaf. The only person that have expanded to more than 200,000 households is President George Weah. Now we are passing by the Roberts Field. We're building another substation there. We're building another substation along the Buchanan Highway. If you're passing, I'm sure the Bassa people have seen that. So when you hear Bezanga Finlay say that, but it's even more. Bezanga Finlay is basically saying, I have a greater degree or a sense of affinity. It means I'm connected to this man even more. George Weah is the only representation, it's the only candidate in the race that has a semblance of Bassa in him. Don't mind what Youngly now on the ticket. She now they now force her on the ticket. They poll that only one person can be president, one person can be vice president at the time. But because they want to fool the Bassa people, they take her and put her on the ticket and force it there. But the Bassa people know better. When they went to the pool, they said, no, you're not on the ticket.
And they expressed it.
And they expressed it through their votes. By more than 10,000 Bazilians voted against, the so-called rescue mission. The mission that can rescue themselves. Called a rescue mission. So basically, we've had now, in addition to having the Bassa people's sister son or their daughter son, being from Grand Bassa County, who's currently is president of Liberia, we are having the senator now of Grand Bassa County endorsing His Excellency the President, the Senator-elect of Grand Bassa County endorsing His Excellency the President, but also there are a host of other people. That Vincent Willie, this Matthew Joe, who knows? Maybe Charlie Bromsky might come on board. So that is what we're talking about. But that was for Grand Bassa. But then we heard another big endorsement, a major one. And I see, I saw the post for Senator Prince Johnson about an hour ago. But let me, talk about how significant is Edith Gonglowe. So Edith Gonglowe is what I like to call the matriarch of Nimba County. She is one of she's one of the strongest. In fact, she is the strongest woman from Nimba County.
Nimba County.
The most who can compete with
the woman who competes effectively
with the so-called leader.
So that is the biggest, one of the biggest endorsements from Nimba County that President George Weah has had. And Edith Gonglowe was responsible for her brother getting about 17,000.
She was the campaign manager
of the votes. No, besides being the campaign manager, the Nimba County wing of the LPP was essentially friends of Edith Gonglowe.
That's the same thing I'm saying.
Yeah, so that's the same thing. Yeah. So the Nimba County wing of the LPP was essentially Edith Gonglowe, friends of Edith Gonglowe. So what has happened since Edith Gonglowe declared her support for the president like 3 days ago? That group has decamped. They've joined our team. They've joined Madam Weah to campaign across Nimba County, and Madam Weah has already hit the ground running. She's been around the place. And we also have a number of different legislative candidates, some of whom have won, some of whom lost their seats. And one of them was on the ERBC a couple of days ago, but there are also a number of them.
Hearing about another one again who has already joined again the president's campaign from Nimba County, who came second.
Yeah. Maybe Senator Johnson can talk about all that he wants, the X, Y, and Z. It's just him. I think he's trying to.
Then he has just spoken.
No, he's made a couple of comments here, there, and yonder, but basically, he was posting this evening, pictures of, their team, and basically saying because of him, they might be winning about 98. So he's according unto himself the powers to rule Nimbayans as just he says. So maybe he can just read the magic wine and say Nimba vote their way, and they will vote that way. If you look at the actual votes, you would tell that they were probably voting for. Anyway, I don't want to get into the different dynamics, but let me talk about the fact that the president got about 50,000 votes from Nimba County, but that's more than 21% of the votes. 50,000 votes is quite significant. So if you look at what Tier 1 Gonglo gets, so about 17,000 Nimbayans, they didn't vote for either of the team. And that group was particularly pushed by Edith Gonglowe because it was her team that was campaigning for Tier 1 Gonglo. That group now is now joining the president team. So in addition to one, Reginald Mandan did, Shadrach, the Nimba for Weah team, the Bangura, the Melvin Yelu, the Garrison, all of them. What the folks did, they're having another big week joining them, Edith. So she knows how. I don't want to get into the Nimba troubleism because I'm a public official. I'm not going to talk about the different segments, the different tribes and all of that, and which group, which person belongs to which tribe. I ain't getting into that dynamics. I'm going to talk about Nimba as a whole. Nimba politics not going to be the same this time around. We promise to take a bigger chunk. And in the coming days, you're going to hear a lot of pledging of support towards the presidency of His Excellency, the second term bid, you might even hear the likes of possibly Larry Yonkwe. I'm just
that would be a good one. That would be a good.
So when you so just like Waka puts it, we said the last time, TT, when you hear endorsements, in the run of endorsements are significant, but there are sorts of endorsements that speaks to the clear picture of population. He just dissected exactly what I said the last time. So here's a situation where you have the snail in its total encapsulation, and then the meat leaves the snail and the shell is left. This is the story of the LPP we're talking about here. But most of these new endorsements you're seeing, especially from within Nimba County or other parts of Liberia, these are significantly important to the simple majority purpose of the president achieving his 50 plus. That number needs to win, whether one vote or more. And what all of these people are talking about is basically they are focused on a leadership that prioritizes reconciliation, unity, and inclusivity in terms of development. Okay, so it's not just about a handful of people with special interests that are personally driven, a chauvinistic idea. It goes beyond that. Nobody's kind of looking in that direction anymore. If you listen to Edith, she said it. Edith said we're in the new dispensation. The future of our country is significantly important. So making a decision, I consulted my people, my family, before making a decision to go and carry the president. She had weighed the both parties on a scale. Okay? She would have said, patriotism goes beyond politics. She would have said it was the same coalition for democratic change who stood with Jeremiah Cole, and he won me as a senatorial candidate in Nima County. But she's choosing right now to go for development, peace, and reconciliation over personal interest.
That's what she said.
Correct.
Because she was asked that question by one of the journalists.
Exactly. So you see,
because she chose development.
Exactly.
Over, tribalism.
Yeah. Unlike what Sandra Johnson is preaching, it is a lazy politics that is not going to speak or resonate amongst the people, because Nimba is a consummation of different group of people, like what Braga said, you don't want to delve in it. But just on the surface, a consummation of different group of people that are all significant Liberians. And for the fact that the president could have even 50,000 votes from there without Senator Johnson's presence on the party, it tells you that the Nimbayans are also resolved, that they are thinking like Liberians. Yes, we may have carried you because according to you liberated us, but this is about Liberia. It's not about a country being liberated. It is about a country being developed, a country being reconciled, and a country being unified. They are not preaching that message. Liberians want to be united continuously. We want to be reconciled so that our developmental agenda can cut across our children's national development generation. Are we getting there? Yes. This person has been driving this. We have even joined the president. If it wasn't, we had our past. We remember when the campaign, when Tilia was running, we saw what happened. They would have said no, but they have looked at the risky ticket, the danger it brings to our public. Okay, the bad omen that comes with this ticket, the ticket that had a female candidate as the head, a female president, but because Braga felt he was a male, he could not have listen to Madam Salif. In the end, he said he got 17 different counts against her for which he can't forgive her for. But this is a man who's coming back today, who is leading a ticket, masquerading to be the agenda change for Liberia, Sukuloko rescue. So these women and serious endorsements that are being done by individuals that are politically inclined, geographically conscious of what Liberia is going through, are not going to accept the kind of idea that Braga is bringing.
Yeah, in addition to that, Titi was talking about the level of endorsements that I think one of the endorsements that I witnessed, and I sort of glossed over that, but let me come back to it. So, I was fortunate enough to follow Kalasco in the Islamic community on last week,
okay,
and he's been continuing with that ever since. So we went to New Georgia community on Friday, where a group of Islamic women, young people that is under the ages of the conservative youth, Islamic youth. So that was the name of the group. So I went there, and it was in District 13. So the representative of District 13 is Edward Papi Sumo. He also graced the occasion. Flomo, Papi Flomo.
I call him Sumo.
Sorry, Edward Papi Flomo.
Yeah.
So he also graced the occasion. It was a colorful occasion. We had, and it was quite important because that was almost exactly the venue that we had our altercation during the last day of the campaign. That Japanese freeway stuff. So it was a well-attended program, and Kalasco was there, and these women, as if they understood exactly that it was an unfortunate incident, were dancing and celebrating the president and all of that, despite the fact that some other folks within the community has sought to exacerbate the situation about spew all kinds of different lies. So, the people said this about you, the people said that about you, but these women themselves were clarifying. What they were enumerating? They said it is this president. They said there's no president that has done so much for the Islamic community than President Weah. They started to enumerate all kinds of things. They say he identifies with us during our holidays, our Islamic holidays. He also tells the civil service and the civil service organization to tell us to stay home, don't go to work. That Islamic people stay home. He also was the only president in the Republic of Liberia, since the formation of this country, that told the MCSS authority to allow Islamic students, if they wish to wear hijab.
Yes.
If they wish to wear hijab.
Yeah.
So he is the only president. He's the only president that has two advisors. One, an Islamic person, another one, a Christian person. So it is testament to the level of recognition. But he also sends a number of Muslims, hundreds of Muslims, for the regular Hajj in Mecca and all of that. He is the only leader that visits the Islamic community and sometimes visits their mosques. I haven't seen any picture of Joseph Bakayama.
I've seen it built.
I haven't seen a picture of Joseph Bakayama. But we should state that George Weah is a staunch Christian. He's a Methodist. He has his own church. He preaches, from time to time on a regular basis. So we don't want to confuse that fact. He's doing these things because he's a leader of religious tolerance. He's a leader of the country. So just in case some evangelicals or some other people say, the president doing this, he's not doing it. No, the president visits on a regular basis, on Sundays, he goes to different churches. Sometimes the
Methodist, the Baptist,
the Baptist, the Pentecostal churches.
So what about the one you guys attended on Saturday?
So on Saturday there was another occasion. That was, in fact, the campaign spokesperson was also there, and I thought it was nice of him, Kanye Bagba. So it was myself. It was Jua Sano, Kalasco again accompanied us. We also joined Macanio, and it was the same theme. Everybody was just coming up. I think some of them were even speaking in their dialect. It was a conglomeration of people from all over. But we should also state that a prominent member of the Black community, Islamic community, Musa Sharif, who is the standard bearer. Is he a standard bearer?
Yeah. But they didn't feel a candidate.
He's a standard bearer of the National Development Party. I understand he also is the owner of Strong FM, which is the only major media outlet within the Islamic community on the Somalia Drive. He has endorsed the president.
Yeah, last week, right?
Yeah, so he is basically saying
they had senatorial
representative. He ran as a senatorial candidate, I understand, but he's basically saying all the same things I'm saying. He's testifying to the level of support that the president has accorded the Islamic community, and all of that. So
I wanted to ask this question. I know the president has been getting all of these endorsements from the Islamic community, but also we have this. What is it about ARCOP? Which way is ARCOP going? Do we know?
Well, ARCOP
is it any way? If they go President Weah's way or the way of the opposition, is it going to harm, is it in any way going to harm the incumbent president?
Not at all.
What do you think?
we should. Okay, so President Weah got about 43% of the votes. I think the third person in that area was that Appleton?
Yeah,
Appleton.
So Appleton is third.
It's listening. It's listening.
It's
Jacob, yeah, of course.
Jacob, yeah, so it's listening. Okay, so yeah. So Akko got about
Akko got 29,000.
no, not 29. That's the total number of the vote.
Wait.
About 35,000 votes.
This
I
is
think so.
Akko 35,000.
Yeah, 35,000. Yeah.
988.
Yeah, so Akko got about 35,000 votes. So that vote was spread across the different spectrum. Politics generally, the world over, all politics are local. They say that means when they say all politics are local, it means people from your particular segment of society, your particular group, and all of that. People tend to affiliate or have a lot of affinity with that person. They will want to choose that person even if the global picture is better.
Totally.
So that was the situation. So we saw that. But if you notice, there was even equality in one of the biggest areas that Akko should have a lot of votes from, which is an Islamic area in Lofa County. They didn't win.
Yeah.
Quite winning. So I think they came next to President Weah. So it shows that the Islamic community have a tendency that even if they have their own in the race, but they more are tended to lean towards President Weah because they've seen the level of support he's giving the Islamic community. So even in District 2, Banswara County, which has a huge conglomeration of Islamic supporters, they tended to lean towards, if it's not Akko, the other candidate will lean towards will be George Weah. You know why? Because he's the only one that identifies with them.
You see,
they see themselves through. Firstly, they see people like Alaska. They see myself. They see other people. Like
many others appointed.
Muslims
Many
in government.
Yeah, many others. I think we're talking about it, right?
So this is the only president that has it. And you know what? It's not like he goes out to go look for Muslims. Is that he's the only president that appoints grassroots.
Yep.
If we're not George Weah, the likes of Daniel Lewis Thomas, Titi Jibo, they will not be running.
No, can be.
We'll not be running. We'll be talking about different set of people to prove for the states for the last generations.
Yep.
Have you seen people from West Point, Claratown, Yukutown, or all the different places appointed in government position?
No.
Where Joseph Bagadan was serving? Those are not the kind of people that they appoint to government position. That is why when they tell you when they refer to us who are appointed in government as these people, they call you these people because they exclude you. When they say basically that what the Liberian people want, even though the greater majority of the Liberian people voted for George Weah, they will tell you what the Liberian people want. They mean
themselves.
Their group of people, not the grassroots from West Point, from the lower ebb of the masses. So they don't count you and myself. But President Weah goes to this, and he doesn't see tribe, he doesn't see religion, he doesn't see class. So some of the time when the people see, for instance, they look at regional Nangbe. They see regional Nangbe head of lottery. That may not belong to that place.
Yeah.
How you put regional Nangbe to lottery? How you put Mamasi Kaban as assistant minister?
Where she come from?
Where she coming from?
Yeah.
But the
stuff like that.
The saddest thing is that how you see a Reginald Nangbe at the National Lottery. I was surprised this morning listening to him on the radio
too.
And talking about,
he's made a lot of transformation.
The transformation that he has carried to that place and how much money they are generating now as a result.
Especially with the social corporate responsibilities.
Yeah, it was just
assigned to them.
It was just mind blowing.
So I see Akko eventually. One of the things I want to stress is that no group is monolithic. No, I think
exactly.
By monolithic, I basically mean they're not going to decide in a unified manner. There's going to be different
views, exactly, different positions.
People are going to have different thoughts and what have you. It's like any group, like we saw that with the ALP.
Yep.
We saw that to an extent. I think
With the
honestly,
CP, even before,
right now said there are other conversations happening. People waiting. They can't endorse because other people agree.
Exactly.
So like the ALP, I mean like the ACOP is going to be similar, But at the end of the day, I can tell you that a greater degree of the folks that support ACOP are always 90% going to come to support the president, even if their leaders go the other way for political convenience. Because there are some other people within the Islamic community who will basically say, "Oh, I have a personal problem with George Weah." They will begin to hear now. Some of the people complaining that, "Oh, the military majority at the Supreme Court, blah 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 blah." I used to all the corridors, all the stuff. So I'm going to all the details.
Yeah, and that's
Politics is interest. I think we should leave that a little bit.
Yeah.
And just go to what happened today. I know from yesterday and today, because we've got 35 minutes, and then we'll open up the lines for the people to have an input.
Oh, get
as
a call
to, so we'll talk about. We do Yeke before going to Costa.
Yeah.
So
Because
we can join the two, right?
they are major factors. So we can talk about.
But what is significant about because I listened to
who?
Yeke. I listened to Yeke today. He is basically pointing still in the direction of former Vice President Bwaka, but he's dissing and even rejecting other members like Delon or other people and saying that he's exposing them at that level. So for me, giving that an attention would definitely mean that, because he said something. He said, "Look, I've been wearing CDC bearer and CDC t-shirts forever." That does not significantly point to the fact that I support the president. But the reason why I'm saying all this is because the people who claim to want to be rescuing, they are not serious.
Yeah, Daniel.
So I mean, we can talk. I mean, we can obviously talk about it. But I was just saying, because Costa has come with a whole dossier of information that is currently creating a serious running stomach for the risky ticket, on grounds that he has been the most close ally to former Vice President Bwaka.
Okay, I know you want to jump into Costa.
No, I'm not. I'm just giving a reason why.
Yeah, we'll go to Costa. But
I'm not even discussing Costa.
Yes, I wanted to make an injection with the Yeke issue.
Okay.
Yes. You see, Daniel, what I got from the Yeke's conversation is about what we normally talk about, ingratitude. If you listen to Yeke today, some of the comments that he made was specifically pointed to the point of ingratitude. Yeke said that all of the struggles and everything that he's been through with the opposition and all of that. Now we're talking about the multiplicity of endorsements, to President Weah. The people, the different. I want you to take a flashback. Look at the people who are endorsing President Weah today. These very people are most of the same people who worked with the Unity Party few months back, few days back.
Totally agree.
Few years back.
Totally agree.
But why aren't they giving their fullness of support to the Unity Party? Because there is this big word called ingratitude.
But that's the emblem of the party.
Ingratitude is leading these people aside. They see the Unity Party not to be the worst thing that will ever happen to this country if they support them. You understand? So Yeke's point today was that with all of what he's been through and everything, seeing him wearing a CDC hat, Jeremiah Kun calling him, Delon calling him, the other people calling him, and blah 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 blah, and he blasted them today and told them that everything that he's been through, they've never helped him.
But in the end, what did he say?
They've never helped him.
In the end, he said that amidst all of those things, you see, we want to dissect the key, this how you call it, this or dishonesty, this ingratitude from the United Party to those who come in, who've realized it, the repentant, how you call it, individuals who realize those wrongs of yesterday and have joined the train.
So I know where you're going, Daniel, but I think it's very, very
No, we can discuss it. Trust me.
it's important for us to point out some of the things that,
That he said.
he
know,
said, because
I just wanted to get to them.
what he said,
Yeah.
it speaks volume. If you want to lead, if you are a leader, you must lead by
Example, I
example.
agree.
You cannot be a leader who only care for yourself, yourself, and you. If you notice, Yeke has been this person who has been on the president's back, the government's
Continuously.
back continuously. But Yeke feels neglected. It tells you
Left in the cool.
it tells you what Ambassador Bwaka would do if Liberians make him president tomorrow. And Yeke's point was, I'm bringing these things out so that you people know the kind of people who call themselves opposition.
Agree.
I'm not going to speak with Delon because Delon is not a good person. He takes money and pretends to be in the opposition.
We said it a long
He's not
time.
a good person, and I will expose him. He said, all of the things that have happened to me, not one day Kun ever called me. Kun has never called.
Ingratitude.
Yombi has never called. But the day they saw me wearing the CDC
Now, what are they called?
shirt was when Kun called, after Kun called, Delon called, Yombi called.
Stanton call.
When I did
everybody
not
call.
pick their calls, then Stanton called. I told Stanton I was not going to talk to them because they're not good. My own uncle, Joe Bwaka, has never, with all of what I have been through, he has never one day called to check on me, to come and see what is happening. And he named the kind of things that have happened to him. And nobody paid
I agree with you.
attention. It did not happen.
Then I totally agree with you.
How does Ambassador Bwaka or the Unity Party folks lead a country in such a way? This is the man who they call their hero, but they called him after they saw him wearing the CDC, no, the
t-shirt.
yeah, the
Oh, the
paraphernalia,
t-shirt.
yeah. Then they started calling him. He said, why would they do this? Then Mo Ali had the audacity to appoint him,
As a deputy,
but
Capital manager.
he just wrote it on, he announced it without even calling to ask, I'm
It's
going
not
to do this.
the serious nature of these people.
Without the man's acquiescence.
It's not that they think so low about every other person.
They don't value, but Titi has said something the other day we were here. Under the Unity Party led administration last 12 years, they sponsored over 500 young brothers and sisters who were in bed with them in Harvard, Cambridge, and other places, while they put out of school over 150,000 young Liberians who may have had the opportunity to school here locally.
They are the ones who have come to.
They are the same people that are coming back.
They are the
Exactly.
people who
They're
come to the
entitlement.
country.
That's the same thing we say.
Sad.
That is,
It's really
and
sad.
it's crazy.
You know what Yeke said is quite revealing.
It is.
If there were anybody that should have said that, it shouldn't have come from Yeke.
I
Not
agree.
at all.
Because Yeke has been the biggest supporter of the opposition community.
Consistent.
So
Treating-
I was expecting that during this second round there would be a lot of different surprises, but I didn't expect one of them to be Yeke, because you will see Yeke at opposition rallies, the June 7 rally. He, in fact, carried the biggest group. You will see Yeke at some of the different political party rallies. He will carry the biggest crowd and all of that. In fact, he's been one of the biggest advocates, to the extent that the opposition they rallied around him by coming from different places to register in his district
And he said that.
and voted for him. So you would have expected that if there were anybody that the opposition folks would pay more attention to,
Will be Yeke
Yeah.
Koloba.
would be Yeke Koloba. So for him to be complaining of neglect, it tells you there's something fundamentally wrong
With the party.
with the Unity Party. The neglect is becoming too much. Everybody's
It's an
complaining.
emblem. Waka. It's an emblem.
So we heard that from President Weah first said it. President Weah the first person that said it was, or she didn't complain about it, but her folks complained about it. President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf.
Yep.
She brought Vice President Bwaka to prominence. He was relatively unknown. Nobody knew him.
He was nobody.
At least people from the new generation, such as ourselves.
Nobody knew him.
Maybe people from the 70s and what have you say, oh, they may well, LPRC managing director X, Y, and Z, and what have you. But President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf brought him to prominence. if she can complain about and make him vice president, what more can you do for a person
to appreciate you?
to be appreciated? President Sally made him vice president, and then she also turned her backs on him because he turned his backs on her to the extent that she suggested who he should make his VP. And then when the people went to talk to him, he said he got 17 grudges against President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. 17 grudges. Things that he didn't say to her a long time ago. He started to push her back. And on her birthday, 5 years ago, the one I was celebrating yesterday, on her birthday, he expelled her from her own political party.
Yeah.
He presided over the process.
Say anything about it until yesterday.
Yeah, and expelled her from her own political party. So it's not just that. But in Georgia, we also complain about the same thing. That he helped her, or he helped him rather. When and Costa. I'm sorry. You can say what you want about Costa. X, Y, and Z. That he's X, but he was family to the black guys. Sort of, because he was considered as such. He was all in their affairs and whatever. And so he explained yesterday that when Joseph Walker fell off, it was President Weah who came, took him, charter fly, take him, ensure that he got the best of treatments and what have you. But the next time he came back, that was the first.
Let's talk about that.
The pacemaker. That was the first time he came back. 2019 protest, he was almost like leading the 2019 protest, the June 7 protest. After he came back from getting a pacemaker and all of that, we heard the same thing from Wisner, we heard the same thing from Henry Costa. The US were flying him on private jets.
They're paying every month. Costa.
Well, I mean, those are the claims. But we saw the US flying on private jets. We saw Cummins. So all of those things happen. There's been all kinds of different claims about, the people are grateful, But to hear that from Yeke Kaluba, that was shocking. So Yeke Kaluba basically said yesterday that Jeremiah Kuhn has never called him.
Yes, never. That's what he said.
That Joseph Walker has never visited him. All the things he's done. That even when he fell into trouble with the government, Joseph Walker never identified with him. And so, because he had gone to the speaker office and then wore a cap, that showed the CDC emblem. That was the only time.
They say we're losing our
men. That's the only time they say, let pick up the phone and call him. So that was Yeke of all persons. So Yeke talked about how he went to Lofa County to go and campaign. We saw Yeke campaign, of course, for the Unity Party in Lofa. His car broke down. Yeah. Nobody called him about his car. If I went away, use Steve Zago car, probably the number of the Unity, hotel, probably the number of the Unity Party. They say, we not get paid for your security guard.
We not get
we not get paid for your security guard. Blah blah, all this stuff. So those are the things the man said. I mean, come on. He said, and the same said the only reason he can't go to the CDC is because he thinks President we are not going to forgive him. So that's why he was making people say. He said he didn't listen. If you noticed yesterday, he was decorous.
He was decorous
to President Weah. He called President Weah Ambassador Weah twice, which is quite unlike He called him Georgie.
He said, I can't go to Georgie.
Which is quite unlike him. So those are the things he was basically saying yesterday. So you could tell that the only reason they said it, or the only maybe I can't vote for him. I can't vote for Georgie because if I vote for Georgie will not forgive me. So I will vote Georgie for. He looked at it, he said he paused, he sat for a while, he said, Ambassador Barker, I'll vote for you. Because I'm a member of the opposition, I'll vote for the opposition community. So what I basically is saying is he hesitated. He sighed. He's frustrated.
And
he's
quite,
but he doesn't know the way forward. And the only thing he's left with is to vote for a fellow member of the opposition just because they're innocent. But he doesn't believe in them.
Just to inject.
He doesn't believe in them.
Not only that, because he's leaving the country. He's going to sit in Ghana. He's not.
After campaigns are done, elections are done.
Just to inject. If Yeke, of all persons, Yeke Koluba, the biggest advocate in the opposition community, can be going through the terrible moments with the opposition community, it sends a clearer message out to his supporters and his proponents that indeed, if these people who are the frontliners, those who sacrifice everything that they've had, to support the vision of the opposition, if they can be treated in such, a form, a manner, how much more about you, the ordinary people?
For me, that's the message.
Look at
It
Yeke.
just leads into what Costa said.
Yeke
today.
Koluba of all persons.
It just leads straight.
And
into
also,
what
it's
Costa
just
said.
proving. You see, we're still discussing that list. It just proves clearly the system. So imagine writing on a piece of paper, giving Yeke a position without his consent, without his involvement, right? Mm-hmm. One more Ali wrote something, you the deputy campaign manager of Moscow County. Mm-hmm. No consultation, no respect to
the man's
no respect to a lawmaker.
Mm-hmm.
No
We
respect.
can do that to a
Yes.
lawmaker.
Imagine a spokesperson for that party giving a lawmaker a position
without
without his consent, without even a consultation, to add no salt to the sauce. Can you imagine, with all of the efforts negative on our side that Yeke has made to give them the relevance that they have nationally? Okay, it was Yeke Koluba, it was Henry Costa, it was Prophet Key. The last time, even Prophet Key, in all of his rudeness, he admitted. He said these people are serious. So imagine a man going to his own country, he party ceremony. The very way you're there 20 into nothing. It's a disgrace. Which Liberia should not vote for this man. These are people, Titi, they are very, very unserious. I told you last time, they don't have an agenda. It's just a few handful of people who believe that this government here is their birthright.
That's a conduit. That's a road they're leading to the presidency.
Yeah.
It's hard because if you listen to what Henry said today, and all of what take him, love him, like him, hate him, but Costa, like you've always said, Washington, Unity Party was practically dead.
Oh yeah, I said it many
The
times.
person who resuscitated Unity
Was
Party
Costa.
was Henry
It's
Costa.
Costa. From the 16 billion to June 7, they were dead.
Costa
Very dead.
said today that even he asked Vice President Joseph Yuma-Boakai, former Vice President, he encouraged him to run again. Mm-hmm. And he says, I don't want to run. Why?
Because I'm broke.
Because I don't have money to run.
Yeah. I can't even take care of myself.
I'm broke.
I don't have money to run.
What happened to Jerry Miller?
We will find money for you to, participate in these elections.
There are some serious questions we need to ask here, because on a serious note, something's not adding up.
Something
If this former vice president were 30 million in 12 years, and is saying to you and myself today that he is broke. Bromsky said this. Charles Walter Bromsky was more like a prophet. He said former Vice President Joseph Boakai and I go way back. I have known him more than any other politician in these elections. He presents himself as a poor man, whereas he is the wealthiest vice president in Israel, Liberia.
So why does he treat people like that?
So you see, so these are the hard questions that Liberians must ask themselves, that are willing to go to the poll to elect a man who claims to be poor, who claims to live alone at this point in time. Whereas historically and statistically, you can read that this man was $30 million in 12 years, thus making the richest vice president in Israeli country. What happened to the money?
Something Costa said yesterday in
What happened to the money?
podcast. Costa said that he raised the amount of 50,000.
16 for the rent?
No, not for the rent.
Okay.
50,000.
What kind of money in there?
Wired that money to Jake Kapakoli to be delivered.
No.
Listen to Costa.
No, that's not what he said. He said when he went to Stanton to support Joseph Boakai, because he encouraged the former vice president to run. That's what he said today.
Yep.
He said he went to Stanton to encourage Stanton because Stanton was supporting President Weah. And he says, I want you to support Joseph Boakai. He said, why should I support that man?
I listened to all of that.
Why should I support that man? Hold on. Why should I support Joseph Boakai? I can support that. The word he used, I can use that on the radio. That, Stanton used on Ambassador Boakai. And he encouraged Stanton. But then he wanted to know why exactly Stanton was not, willing to support the former vice president. And that was when Stanton told him that when former Vice President Joseph Boakai was running the past elections in 2017, he gave 50,000 to Jake Kabakoli. But the former vice president did not call one day
say
to
thank
say
you.
thank you.
Yeah. Ingratitude.
Yes. Then Costa said, I will find out. And he went back to the former vice president to ask him. But Costa said that the former vice president said that he did not receive the money.
Exactly.
This is the Jake Kabakoli who's making list here.
This is where I'm coming. Thank you very much, Titi. Thank you very much. This is where I'm coming from. This is the Jack Kapakoli who claimed, or in his dream, or is proposing that he will ever want to be a minister of state, and he's making list. Now, let me be honest here. And he's making list, right? Now. Henry Costa has made this revelation. And when he said that he was going to inquire why this 50,000 was not been revealed to Mr. Bwaka, former Vice President Bwaka, Henry Costa has already kicked the ball. And this unity party who needs to be rescued are talking about rescuing this country. Jake Kabakoli now should be called for questioning and to know how he used that money. This is the corruption that will be injected into our
And they're saying that they will, when they become president, they will persecute all public officials. But they can't even account for monies that were given to them for their own capital.
He stole it. Let me say something. So this is not a new
serious people.
It's not a new system. Huh? It's the Unity Party we're talking about here. The Unity Party was in power for 12 years, shrouded in a lot of different allegations of corruption. They broke down Local, a $120 million company. They essentially gave a contract to Elenito without digging a shovel into the ground. They came and gave a whole contract of $100 million to Elenito. Everybody got kickbacks. There was 60 or so
66
concession agreements given fraudulently after an international firm did an audit of the system. It was soon that happened. Millions of dollars disappeared from the Ministry of Health under Joseph Bwaka Wash and all of that. They are the folks that are purporting to have the solution to Liberia's problems. By the way, they used to pass around with gas slips in their pockets that was supplementing scratch cards that was supplementing their already astronomical pays. So that's why when people start talking, say, "Oh, we are official me," blah blah. Because firstly, these people are making 2 times more than we are officials currently, and then they are supplementing that 2 times more salary with additional gas. So when the money finish, when they get it, they give it to their girlfriend. Say, "Oh, they give the gas slips to their girlfriend." When the girlfriends ask, they say, "Oh,
you can suffer everything."
But that's exactly what the accusation that are thrown at our.
That's the life they were living.
They're saying, "Oh, we are officials, me and X, Y, and Z," because we're not making the same kind of money. These people made not only 2 times more in salary, but they also have other amenities that we do not have. Now, they are the ones that claim to have morphed into a new group of people that they suddenly become saints. And they have the ability now to rescue
and solve our problems.
And they are the ones now that the very person who came from their kitchen is telling you they are still stealing. So he sends, according to Costa today, sends Jake Kabakoli, the supposed Minister of State,
the dreamed minister,
the supposed Minister of State. He sends him $50,000. Joseph Bwaka later told Costa, who sent the $50,000, that I didn't receive that money. This is the man who's supposed to be controlling the presidency. A damaged proposal. But there is more.
Revelation.
Costa also talked about the fact that
receipts and he showed.
He displayed these documents.
Messages.
But then Costa also talked about something I already knew. Jeremiah Kun is not the same.
No.
Jeremiah Kun was deputy on the House Committee on Ways, Means, and Finance. We know some of the deals he made. He was the only one that was named in Centar's report. One of the few lawmakers that are named in Centar's report for corruption. That he was transferring budgetary allocations. Things that are meant for actual genuine clinics to his private hospital, so he can go and siphon the money. That the one that they say they come and rescue Liberia, like Jeremiah Kun and other people. So these are the same old people. And then Costa also talked yesterday. I know that Stanton was trying to clarify and all of that, but Costa basically said he raised the money. He didn't say he paid the money. He said he raised the money and then brought and paid for the hospital.
The hospital.
I mean, not the hospital. Their
The headquarters.
for $60 million. I mean, $60,000, and 40,000 was taken out of that money.
The owner took 20.
Not only that, he even
So these are allegations.
But he showed text messages, exchanges between him and the former vice president and Stanton, and he went further to even talk about the money the president used to support former vice president Yuma Bwaka. You remember the former vice president said that he was going to pay the money back. Costa said he had 10 different persons who were funding him to fund
to repay that money.
No, to fund the former vice president, because Stanton was not the only person. He said today that there were 10. Stanton was just one of them. So he gave him $3,000 every month for upkeep, right? But the money that he said he was going to pay President Weah back, because he heard that what President Weah did for him is all in the news. Costa said that money was given back to the former vice president. The money never went back to President Weah.
You see, the thing is, when you're dishonest, you're dishonest. Madam Solif had her own share of that dishonesty in regards to former vice president Bwaka. Okay, she did everything humanly possible.
You mean she was also affected?
She was affected.
Okay.
Yeah, she was affected. That's what I'm saying.
No, what you said is
no. I said she had her own share of the dishonesty. Yes, she had her own share of the dishonesty, because everything she did to give him a place nationally. You and I didn't know former vice president Bwaka. It was through Madam Solif, and everything he acquired, he lied on the president that the National Transit Authority, he made a recommendation for some buses from Israel, and she downplayed it. That wasn't true. He received kickbacks and diverted those buses to Israel, to Libya, as we people who are in the midst usually talk about it. And these dishonesties are something that he keeps carrying each and every day.
Yeah.
Look at the people around him. Only a few, and you see the same face all the time, Titi.
Yeah, the same face.
The same face.
Same face.
Why do you think Yeke is not? Why do you think they don't incorporate Yeke in that small space? They only got dinner in media because they felt that this Basel factor was very important to them. But because they didn't get this Basel factor, you wait and see. You just wait and see. At the end of the day, Collins, who came in all his sincerity with clean hands, as clean as a slate. What did they do with Collins? They placed him on the pedestal 6 different times. He testified against Alexander Cummings on grounds that Cummings was fingering the framework document that they all sat together. Cummings sponsored, for only because he saw that Cummings had an ambition of becoming the standard bearer. And the very people around him masterminded and said, look, if you allow this man to go further, he will lead the party and he'll bring own people we lost. This is a vice president who listens to the people around him, don't make his own decision. And this is sad for a country that will elect a man like that who cannot make his own decision. It's bad. And it's dangerous.
I know we will. You guys can come in, on this whole, issue. But I wanted to ask you a question, because I know I listened to Patrick Honda and the rest talking about, all the people in the government come from Southeast. I wanted to ask: is the Southeast a county? Because that's how they make it, sound like Southeastern Liberia is just one county.
Where did Akosombe Kafua come from?
But it's unfortunate that anybody will take that kind of session. What are the things they can be talking about? I think they can be referencing the fact that lawmakers that were elected.
No.
I listened to him yesterday because they started saying lawmakers, but then when we said that the speaker was not appointed by the president,
they changed it.
The speaker was not appointed. Yesterday, I heard him say, all of them come from the Southeast. My thing is, Southeastern Liberia is not a county. Maryland County is in the Southeast.
No,
River G is in the Southeast. Sino is in the Southeast. The president comes from Grand County. Are you saying that people who come from, River G County should not be in the government because, River G is in the Southeast? Are you saying that Grangians should not be in a government because President Weah comes from the Southeast?
Of course.
Are you saying that Marylanders, because when they're ready to name people who come from the Southeast, they make it sound as though people come from one county?
But what is this?
They will name Eugene Nangwe, they will name, the president, they will name Pisota.
They will name
These people come from different counties. So how do you make it seem as though all of them, or southeastern Liberia, is just one county?
And even before the president's election, these people in question played a major role from 2005 up to present.
They were working in your.
So what do you expect? So are they saying to us too that we should say honor the last 12 years? Augustine Boye Gafar, the Patrick Horner who making up, Christopher Sally, the bulk of all of them who came from. So we should say that they came honor from. You see, it is a lazy, imbalanced argument. It has no meat or substance in it because exactly. So right now they pushing it. You see, they're trying to tribalize this whole runoff, and what we're doing, they're disinfecting this idea. It is helping because there's nothing more they can say. So the argument is okay. So the Southeast, they've taken the South as a county. The president 6 years as president did not affect the Southeast as compared to the way it affected other parts of Liberia.
But yet, you don't come from Lofa County.
Well, let me name some other people. D. Maxwell came here from Lofa.
Yep.
You know, Cooper Crown, he was from Nimba before. You know, we had the new other person there from Nimba as well. Daniel Zianka from Grand Bassa.
Yeah.
You know, so Sony from Mangibi. We have Vani Salif from Bomi. You know, we have, I can go on and name Chokonpi, Grand Bassa County. You know, so listen, it is desperation, it's disingenuous, it's sad.
Very sad.
Because firstly we heard Joseph Boakai say, I'm willing to dance with the devil in order to if that's what it takes. Now we're hearing his lieutenants basically preaching tribal politics as if it's not enough what Prince Johnson is doing, dividing the country on tribal lines. We are hearing the likes of Honor and other people dividing the country further on tribal lines, along those tribal lines.
But he would not say how many presidents.
You know, he will not talk about
has taken from Lofa County in the government.
It is that sense of desperation because at the end of the day, you know, one of the things we've been advised. You know, that's why when I told you earlier, you asked me about who Edith Gonglo were. I could have talked about which segment of Nimba County she's from, right? Yep. But I said I was a public official. I'm not going to get on the radio and talk about tribalism. But these are people who said they want to lead this country. They want to get involved with, they want to hold cabinet position. But they don't care if they don't care if we can put this country down the drain, if we can get involved with, because there's been no time in our country's history that we've put so much tribalism than now.
Yeah, you're right.
They have candidates that are from two essential counties. What they've been doing in the last 6 months, and it's been heightening in the last 3 weeks, is basically telling the people, oh, Joseph Boakai from Lofa, oh, they represent for, but these people have done essentially zero, next to zero for their respective counties.
Yep. Totally agree.
Joseph Boakai has done nothing for Lofa County. Even Foya, he has zero there. The person who he claimed from Southeast has done more for the county that he claimed to represent than he himself has ever done. He's never even visited the place. The only time he went there was, you know, some pitiful visitation that he did in Bandyland, where, you know, the people didn't even turn out, and that was one of the indications that they were voted out the representative, and they did. You know, even in Foya, can you imagine you from a place and the president is competitive there? The only reason he didn't win as much vote as he could have was because we had another Lofa candidate who was Lucini Kamara. You know, then we hear Prince Johnson talking about, oh, the Nimba people going to vote. The Nimba people are very important people.
Yep.
They are extremely, exceptionally important people to our body politics. But they are smart people. You know, they know that a lot of development have gone to their county. This man who they say from the Southeast has been the only president that has taken more development to Nimba County than most other presidents in the Republic of Liberia.
It tells you how divisive he is because he dropped it in the faces of the people from southeastern Liberia. They say, you see, George Weah has not done anything, and that is not even true. That we hasn't done anything in southeast, but because he's very divisive, that's why he dropped in their face. You can
and his only is clear that this man is only doing it for personal gain. Not only being divisive, for personal gain. He doesn't care much about Nimba people.
No. It's about him.
It's never been about Nimba. It's never been about Nimba.
Well, we're not going to get involved all of the, honestly, it doesn't get much about Nima people. The basic thing is his personal interest. Joshua has done more for Nima than any other kind of, to the extent that even the Southeastern people can be complaining. So, when are you from here? You do more for, but you do it for Nima people. So I saw this lady on from Nimba. There was a lady on social media who was from Nimba. I almost said, how can you be so ungrateful to this man? He's done more for us than any other president.
Exactly.
How can we be that ungrateful to this man who's done more for us? He's built more of our roads. How is it that this man is so fixated on developing Nimba, and then we're listening to Prince Johnson and Jeremiah Cole just because of the selfish interest? They want to be president. We are an 80-year-old man who saying, I want to be president, this and that. Yeah, say, oh yeah, because the man 80-year-old, the man could, to the extent that Prince Johnson talking about, they make him do the way that Jeremiah will be doing the way X, Y, and Z. Come on.
The last time, let me just
please go ahead.
The last time we were here in Daniel, now we're talking about his selfish and egotistic attitude when it comes to the way they're driving this whole political stuff. Now, here's Senator Johnson. Here is Joe Bwaka. Let's go in Nimba. Let's go in Lofa. What have these people done for their respective counties? With the amount of support their counties
party that lacks serious agenda. It's a confirmation of people who believe that Liberia, the presidency is their birthright. The cabinet, it is the family tree that they must inherit. Unfortunately, they are so adamant to the fact that Liberians are not educated. You talk about Prince Johnson in Nima. He built a university in Nima County. If it wasn't because of the public or free tuition, you know what I mean? Nimbayas will not afford to go to university there. Cole is using the very franchise of the people that elected him senator to amass money to himself and benefit in Nimba. The properties in Nimba County not for the Nimbayas, it's for himself. So they should stop all of this bluff and be practical with what they can genuinely do for Liberia. But unfortunately, they don't have to. First of all, they are not even together. You saw a cabinet listing of individuals that did not even consummate the county called Nimba. Okay,
almost all of them came from Lofa, but that's the irony of what they.
If Patrick Honda will talk this, you don't listen to them because these are people who were there. They saw it. This very EIBC we sat in here. The Madam Salih's appointment here. Patrick want to check the number of people. We shouldn't go there. Because at the end of the day, we'll be going back. So what I can say is that until Unity Party in the next dispensation can come up with an agenda that encapsulates what Liberians want to see. For now, they are serious, and the president is going to vote them this time around. The good thing is, we only got 2 candidates on the ballot. Let's see who is the mayor. Let's see if Liberians, even Nimba, let's see if Liberians in Nimba County will listen to the kind of political chicanery, divisive politics that they're pushing to vote for a Joseph Bwaka or voting for a George Weah that has given the children the opportunity to see what development is in our country. Let's see.
So let's get to the lines and take a few calls, right?
Yeah, sure. You can.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just. Should I conclude?
No conclusion.
08005140096.
Good evening, Daniel, Washington State City, and Minister Paga Fofana.
Satiro?
Yeah, this is the voice of Eric Satiro, this is politician, and this evening I'm phone from District 3 Maserati County. And let me say thank you for the firing open conversation tonight. You could have said it better. It is very unfortunate. And let me say, in fact, it is very saddening with emotion, with deep emotion, I'm saying this, to hear our casemen, our statement being mentioned in the media persistently for the wrong reason. Though for some of us, we don't support him, and we don't intend, even in the next future, in the next world, to support him. But is it because he has persistently said that even if we dance with the devil, that what the devil will dance with to get power? Or is it because he is mean for letting people down? Look, our people are listening to us. They need to hear this. Let us go to the pool on November 14 and retire the woman. That's the only way we're going to save his integrity.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Caller, please walk away from your monitor. It's nothing.
And good evening to our panelists together.
Good evening to you.
Yeah, this is the Action Baku from District 5 this evening. Let me say many thanks to you guys for the level of discussion there. SSCD for no endorsement for me. Personally, I did not call it endorsement. I call it reconciliation. Because if you look at those guys, all these people that are coming back to support President we are doing in this runoff election, look at their attitude, what they've been doing to us. But today, thank God that they are back, and President we has known very well that he will embrace everybody because he has in mind that yes, indeed, he is not the leader of CDC, but he is the leader of Liberia. And together, we will re-elect our president. Thank you very much.
Thank you, brother.
Good evening.
When you're calling, you're walking away from your monitors and your call. Look at that. Good evening. Sarah. Hey, Cyrus, what's up with you?
I'm not saying you. I just found the ministry thing to prepare. Then I can add more
People can get people telephone number.
Exactly.
People can get people telephone number.
Openly, can't do that.
They're probably going to tell you to get a telephone number.
Yeah.
So that one you get from you.
They call her, hello.
You got personal issue.
Hello, caller.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good evening to you. Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, this is Sunday in the morning. We're calling from downtown.
Hey, how's Bob County this evening?
Yeah, thank you.
Let's hear from you, please.
I want to make clarity on the issue of the traditional statement of WIA for the past election.
Okay, my brother.
We voted for WIA, not that we're from the past history, we voted for WIA because we need development. Voting for WIA is like voting for development. We have to come together to vote for them. It means that we will be putting our country first, our vision first for development. The area there accumulated by the past year. So to maintain we vote and know that he will carry development there. So this is why we voted for him massively.
Okay.
Not that he keeps on the vision.
Okay, thank you very much. Hello, caller. Walk away from your monitor, please.
Hello.
Hello, caller.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, hello. Your name and where you calling from? Let's hear from you too.
Yeah, my name is Moses. I'm calling from district number 3 and the son of the medical leader of the Democratic Change.
Good evening, Moses.
And I just want to say this. We are going back to re-elect our president. We're not going to put everybody who already have the confidence so by the pocket and they want to come in the middle of the self-interest. They want to be our development now. Like, when you're not putting all African countries are not developed, this president is showing massive development. So we're going to re-elect him to make sure that Liberia comes better to be the face of Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller.
I enjoy it.
Hello.
Caller. Hello.
Hello.
Your name and where you calling from? Yes, you on live.
This is Mobile where we are called from Salalabon County.
Hey, Mama, how's Salala this evening?
We are grateful to God and we are preparing and machination the forces around our district for the re-election of President William.
Fantastic. What's on your mind?
And the reason of what we will not be on travel basis, it will be on based on the country that we are staying. The guys will be going around because they don't have any message. They are desperate because they misuse as the president, the former vice president said in his own statement, they squandered their own opportunity. The reason you see this why in the real battle coming because they squandered their time, they were unable to build houses for themselves, they were able to save for themselves, and because they are seeing young people these days, with the open up we have given us, developing and building houses for ourselves, which they never did in 12 years. So the envy, the jealousy is in them.
Okay.
We are telling the Liberian people the mistake we made, it will make it to re-elect. They guys who scored the 12th year. It will be a very difficult thing for us.
Okay.
Because they don't have their own citizens.
Okay, let's get the next one.
They will take our resources because they want to be like the young people that are president in President William government and developing like.
Okay, caller. Thank you. Caller, step away from the monitor, please. Good evening.
Yeah,
Good evening to you.
yeah, I'm not going to call you from Central County.
The Riverside County?
Riverside in Central City.
Hey, how's Riverside this evening?
Okay, Riverside is fine, not bad.
Let's hear from you.
I want to tell the Liberian people that this president, we are is a man to be voted for. We know that the people that are facing it is as a positive or this or this, it's just for to say because of the vote, the man got them, but we never give that vote because of our easy self. We gave this vote because of the development that he carried on in the country. We know that this development it will not be any effort to put President William will be making a big mistake.
Okay.
And so that we are all asking our second round to count November 14 to market 14. I will get a second time.
Okay, caller. Thank you very much. Good evening.
We are all asking our second round.
Caller, can you step away from the monitor, please? Okay, let her call over. Caller, can you walk away from the monitor, please? Your feedback is still very bad. You have to let you go. When you call on the radio, make sure you're away from the monitor. Also, at least do your points in 30 seconds. Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Caller, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening to you. Your name and where you calling from?
Okay, the name is James Tumo White, and I'm at the LBS community.
Great. Let's hear from you this evening.
So thank you for your discussion there. You know, these are some of the things you need to tell the people. You know that when people in society is not that informed when it comes to politics. The issue of politics in a country is like a new thing that is coming. So in order for you to let the people know, you have to come out and say it. If you don't say it, the opposition will say against you.
Yep.
So thank you for that. And this president deserves to be re-elected. You know what I'm from there, Maryland. We have two presidential candidates from Maryland itself. And Appleton. Why is it that none of them were met to President William instead of Women Wakai? It is not communism, but the development that has to do with paying students one fee all across the country, making public and university free. Like I left from Maryland to come to Montreal just to go to the University of Liberia. But there was no university there, Madame Teddy there, President William made it free. So all the same people they no longer come to Montreal, even all of the about places, go there to go to school. Okay. There's not something that is wrong. That's how they call repay, somebody for. That's how they say that someone is it. They check the number of people that in the government. And both of them, the single county that had the highest number of people in the government when country was playing their local country. And both of the development is local. So they will be that way of business. But I think they should realize that they are ungrateful. So without being there, let them realize that what it is.
Okay, brother. Thank you. Caller, hello. Hello, caller.
Hello?
Good evening to you. Your name and where you calling from?
Hello?
Yes, good evening.
Yeah, hello?
Caller, good evening.
Yeah. Yeah, my name is Samuel Josie calling from Buffalo County.
How is Bapu this evening?
Yeah, hello. My name is Samuel Josie calling from Buffalo County.
Loud and clear, Samuel. How is Bapu this evening?
Yeah, Buffalo is okay.
How's the Emirate Hospital?
Yeah, Buffalo is okay.
Let's hear from you.
Yeah, I mean, also is okay. Everything is going cool.
Let's hear from you. Let's hear from you.
Yeah,
Okay,
you know, you just party people, you don't know what to say. They get shit. I said, you just party people get shit.
Yeah, we can hear you. Just flow. Go ahead. We hear you.
So when we like, you want to put our president back, yeah?
Okay, thank you very much. Hello, caller. Let's hear you. Hello, caller. Let's hear you quickly. Good evening, caller. Let's hear you. Okay.
Hello, my brother. This was about me. I think it's how old man is. Yeah. Sometimes we get how we need people. You know, this thing is getting you. You make it to come up with you.
The line is bad.
We're losing you.
Hello, caller. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, good evening. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah, this is Omer Badia calling from Red Light to be precise, Basa.
What's on your mind, Pops?
What's on my mind is this. I will advise all Liberians, even my county, Born County, advising everybody that day. Whosoever fought by going to Joseph Barker, I'm begging them tonight, and I will continue to advise them. Let them vote for Joy Weah for the peace sake. So he have done well. Joy Weah have done well. We see the tangible he's doing in the country. Even if they are not going across, but they're doing it for the majority.
Yep.
Any development that going on any part of this country is in our interest.
Yep.
Nobody will allow to come and disrupt this peace that we enjoying today. We will not allow them.
Okay, Pops. Thank you very much.
So I thank you all. In my gear to go to my hometown, which is Monolithic.
Okay.
I think I mobilized people there during the year of CDC. I was in my gear to go there, but I have an eye problem.
Oh, okay.
If you time we were going to 77 area there was a riot there.
Oh,
One guy
outside.
hit me in my eye. Right now, my eye tear running. I'm facing the problem. I was to go monitor. Even I'm calling my people there to vote for Joy Weah.
You should.
All that thing they carry on there, I'm not part of it.
Okay, we're sorry about that unfortunate incident. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
being part of the program.
All right. Hello, caller. Let's hear from you.
Yeah,
Good evening to you.
I'm calling from Ohio. My name is Pathologist.
Hey, Mr. Fugu, let's hear from you.
Yeah, okay. By the way, my home in Lofa is Sado Pasha, that's in the Gisi region.
Okay.
Okay, a few days ago, Patrick Horner was here in the plantation, and he started to make some very, trying to incite the people, especially retirees. But interestingly, about what the things he's talking about, he himself and the vice president are guilty of it. That is, he was telling the people here, it was government that took the retirees' money. But apparently, he forgot to know that the Judicial Work Act of 2015 was signed by Joseph Walker,
Exactly.
our father. Secondly, the meeting that Fireson sat in to discuss the issue of dealing with the people on the Judicial Work Act, Patrick Horner himself was in that meeting, supporting the point of Fireson plantation. So for me, it was just a big contradiction of Patrick. I think Patrick has to think a steady mood to know what he wants to do exactly.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you. That's a good point.
Out of desperation, people do a lot of things,
Yeah.
and I think that's what they just.
And this is a man out double dipping. Hello.
Yeah. Good evening, ERPC, and good evening to loving people of Liberia.
Good evening, my friend. Let's hear from you.
Thank you. My name is Isaac James Collins Jr. and I joined this conversation for Pathologist County.
Okay, let's hear from you.
Thank you. This project belongs to us, we Liberians. And I believe what is good for us is what we go for. And President George Emmanuel is one of the guys that have done so much in this country. And Bong County will stand up tall. That what we did in October 10, it was a mistake. But we are going to, realize that what we did was wrong.
Okay.
And we are going to re-elect the president.
Thave very much.
We have done so much.
Thank you very much.
We see the cat hot here in Ghana.
Yeah, regional.
We are seeing the local road that have been built. So this government belongs to us, and we are young people. We are going to re-elect.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. We don't have much time, so we just want to make it snappy. Let's do it quick. Caller. Hello, caller.
We don't have much time, so we just want to make it snappy. Let's do it quick.
Caller, hello. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, caller, good evening.
Yeah, hello?
Yes, good evening. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, my name is Junior from over the zone.
From where?
My name is Junior from over calling from the zone, Pathologist County.
Okay, let's hear from you. Good evening.
The zone town, Pathologist County.
Yeah, let's hear from you. We hear you. Let's hear from what's on your mind.
Yeah, I thank you people for this show this evening, but what I'm going to tell you people is
Hello?
coming around, our food is going right back to our President George Malawiya.
Okay.
President now, if you do, where we are, I think the next area higher food in the district, so we set the battle, give him more food.
All right. Thank you very much.
So that grandpa can the new need there, Jesus.
No, he said diesel. We are diesel town. There's a park. We are diesel town. You know, mean
Oh, man.
Yeah, diesel town.
More.
Well, yeah, Pyongyang. The diesel town, like the places we're talking about there.
Hello?
Good evening.
Hello?
Yes, good evening. Go ahead, we hear you.
Yeah, this is Nicholas from American Apple.
Hey, how's Apple? Good evening. Let's hear from you quick.
I'm back on that.
Okay.
It's true. Because we are in the best mood right now. And it's all like below. It is that it is you get a country at heart. Because one is that Liberians, some of the Liberians, they are not truthful because you see some of the drinking things you praise them. But people here criticizing the president doing this and all of that saying that the next time play right in Liberia, they create from the play right race. So it's
Don't man Balu there.
Don't man Balu over there. He's just an angry
Hello, caller.
loser.
Hello, caller.
Yeah.
Let's hear from you now. Yes, let's hear from you quick.
Yeah.
You're live. Let's hear from you. Hello, caller. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good evening. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, how you doing though?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah, my name is Andrew Barriga, to join from my TV contest on Yahoo.
Okay, let's hear from you.
Yeah, I appreciate you for your effort. Yeah, but because I'm appealing to everyone to tune up on November 14th to go vote President George Manoia because he deserves to vote and he deserves to be re-elected.
Okay.
He has done much. Yes.
All right.
I benefited from it too. Yes, as a graduate for the last fees
Okay.
and our electricity has been class right now. And I appreciate him for his tireless effort around the country.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Hello. Caller.
Hello?
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Hello, is this you busy?
You are live or you are busy? Let's hear from you.
Yeah, hello, Minister Fofana and the team tonight.
Hello to you.
My name is Sumodoro. I'm calling from Bangabong County.
Okay, let's hear from you, sir.
Yeah, I want to say thank you guys tonight for the program, the open conversation. I want to thank God again that we can be a part of this program. We long time, willing to listen to you about the time, sometimes from 8 o'clock, 8:30, we are called, but tonight,
ẹ wá ṣe òbí wọn wọ́n tún àwọn ni ẹ wá ṣe òbí wọn.
Don't say 8:30, say 8 o'clock.
Okay, all right. But what I want to say tonight is that people on the opposing side are saying that Georgia government is not balanced. It's just focusing from the southeast. Forgetting to know that the president comes from the southeast and the vice president from the central.
Exactly.
Unlike the so-called rescue mission from their disunited party that called that, who's trying to disorganize the disunited like UN, the president and the vice president both come from the central region.
Yes, that's a good point.
We just want to unite the Liberian people, and they had no better plan for us.
Okay.
So the government now is well balanced to have the vice president from the central and the president himself from the southeast. So it's a good government for us.
Thank you.
So we just encouraging all Liberians to know that.
Thank you, sir. We're already out of time.
Sir, thank you. Thank you.
We're already out of time.
Not taking any calls. Daniel, let's just go with you.
So
Just part of
nowadays, at the end of every show, I will leave my audience with one important fact.
okay.
It's important to know. So tonight, if you're listening, I'm going to leave you with an important fact that you need to know about this president and why you should elect him. In the last 6 years, this government has spent over $20 million to pay the wax fees for over 250,000 Liberians. And guess what? The money came from the taxpayers' money, not foreign money. So this is one of the reasons why you should re-elect the president. So with that being said, it was a very good time again for us tonight, and we are very anticipative of what is coming up in the coming weeks. We want to say thank you to all those that have gained the confidence in the president's leadership and wants him to be re-elected. Those that have endorsed him this week and last week, we want to say welcome on board. And also thank you to the president for being very reconciliatory. A leader is supposed to reconcile his people. You see, what the president has done currently is like the story of the prodigal son. Okay, no matter what happened, you left your father's house, you took all of your belongings and everything, you squandered all of it, you came back, your father forgave you and accepted you. So I want to say that the president is the only authority for our country right now, and until we re-elect this president, his vision for Liberia will not be established.
Thank you very much, Rich Thomas. It was a beautiful conversation, team, and we want to appreciate all of you for being part. I want to say thanks to Minister Fofana. Thank you very much, Daniel, and thanks to the team. My name is Washington, and I'm out.
So, it's good for people to say, I support President Weah. We support President Weah. But for President Weah to become the next president of the Republic of Liberia, you have to play your part.
Yep.
Because if you don't get up on election day, go to the polls and vote then what you're saying here is not going to be a reality. We all know what happens when there is a second round. People get this voter fatigue, and they just get tired. And because you're hearing everybody saying, we'll vote for the president, we'll vote for the president, you say the president already win. No, it doesn't happen like that. You have to wake up, because the people who you are against are not going to be sleeping. So you have to wake up, you have to mobilize your people, and you also have to be on the lines and make sure that your vote counts. That is the only way President Weah is going to be the next president of this country. I just wanted to say that. And we want to say thank you to all of you who made it your duty to listen and to call and participate. God willing, tomorrow we will be here again with another edition of Open Conversation. Thank you to Minister Fofana and our own
in-house panelist,
Daniel Nukes Thomas. Thank you so much. Have a pleasant night.